Good morning, afternoon, or evening. This is Mateo360 with...
Parochial Joe.
We are doing a bonus of VR Troopers, because it is the only other Saban series that got a video game on Genesis.
What about other consoles?
What?
What about other consoles?
I think... Well, let's see. Masked Rider... Well, there was a Masked Rider game for Sega CD, but it wasn't related to the Masked Rider show.
Okay.
Anyway, these are the VR Troopers. Let's see. Ryan, Caitlyn, and JB.
Aw, I was hoping the dude with the beard and long hair was going to be one.
No,
Best.
that is Tao. He is their mentor.
Of course.
And, the only reason why I decided to do this is the guy who plays Brad, he was going to be the original White Ranger.
Oh.
And he voiced the Gold Zeo Ranger before they revealed who the Gold Zeo Ranger was.
Okay, thanks. We don't need you anymore now that we got a face.
Yes. Well, and also, Jason David Frank was originally going to be Ryan, and it was only going to use the footage of his character. This is actually taken from... the first season uses 2 different shows, the second season uses 3. Ryan's character and the villains are taken from a show called Chojinki Metalder. Then JB and Caitlyn are from Jiku Senshi Spielbahn.
Okay.
It is very confusing. This is our Zordon figure, the Professor.
He looks horrifying.
Yes. That is our villain, Grimlord. They each have something to say about whoever we're fighting. So,
Is that a slug man?
yep, that's actually a tank.
A tank?
Yes. He also came from, Metalder. The plot of most of the episodes actually involved finding a way to split Ryan from JB so they could use 2 different fight scenes. All but 2 enemies in this game come from Metalder.
Wow, this guy is wrecking you with his move spam.
Yeah, you noticed in the options I changed this to easy. This is easy!
What?
Although, to be fair, easy gives you access if you have the 6-button controller to use the top 3 buttons, the X, Y, Z, for special moves instead of having to input a combo. Which I will be showing off in the next fight.
Gotta keep it from
After
juggling
I get
you
my butt
first.
handed to me again.
Oh, there we go.
I don't know, that's the 3rd special. For some reason, I just glow.
It's worth it.
Yes, the original pilot, for which I will actually post a link to a YouTube video for, had Jason David Frank, and it only used the Metalder footage.
Mighty Mutant Robots. Yeah. I think the VR Rangers are kind of screwed. VR Troopers are kind of screwed here.
Yep.
The non-stop foot sweeping. It's like Mortal Kombat 3 with the leg sweep.
This is why I hate fighting games. Now, for JB, I like to use his laser lance, just because it can reach across the screen.
Yeah.
And he has that
keep him on
rolling
the other
tackle.
side.
Or
Turnabout's fair play, I guess.
Yeah. And this is pretty much how I play the whole game. Be thankful I edited most of the rest of the fights down to just 1 round. And this is still a 22-minute video.
Ooh. Can't wait to see what other kinds of creative monsters they make. What else can we stick on this guy's head?
Oh, just you wait. It can only get better from here.
Oh yeah, sticking a tank on a dude's. What kind of position is that?
It's the Johnny E position for Metal Gear. Though I do like the backgrounds, they are very detailed.
I was just about to say that. When all else fails, go to the background.
They're definitely a lot better than the movie Genesis game backgrounds.
Yeah, although I do like how the water is apparently flowing in like 500 different directions.
Well, we gotta use that graphics chip somehow. Yeah, it goes much faster when I just use that rolling attack.
Oh, yeah, there was a fight going on, wasn't there?
Yeah.
What?
That is Jeb. Jeb is the animal mascot.
He's the demon dog.
He got the ability to speak by messing with a machine in the lab the VR troopers use. Now, imagine
the arcade machine that gave them their powers?
No, the arcade machine is just the plot for the game. I'll explain this mode when we get to the next one, when it's much longer. But yeah, Jeb, he always talks in a faux Jack Nicholson accent.
Oh boy.
And he actually replaced a human, let's see, comedic relief. He replaced a human comedic relief in the main credits after a couple of episodes. The dog is part of the opening credits for most of the first season. And there are something like 4 or 5 separate episodes dedicated to the dog.
Wow.
Anyway, back to the actual game. I have Caitlyn here fighting Decimator. He likes to jump.
Actually, is a good name for a villain.
Mexican jumping bead would have been better at this point.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, Caitlyn does not have any kind of rolling attack where I can get close and stunlock him.
What a jerk.
She just has long-ranged attacks.
Oh my god. They seem to do a decent amount of damage, but...
Yeah.
Well, except that one.
This is how it's easy mode. You abuse the hell out of the special moves.
Which, if you have the special controller, means pressing one button the entire time.
Yep. Yeah, I'm glad I had a 6-button controller for this. Otherwise, I don't think this would have been filmed. Then you all would have been spared the pain.
Yep. Nobody would get to see the amazing game that is VR Troopers.
And if you can, try to actually read all the in-between fight dialogue. It has some weird stuff in it. Especially Jab.
God, that dog.
Yes, they did not do a good job animating the dog.
Its eyes.
Yes. So the battle grid, that was something made entirely for the American show, where they would go into basically virtual reality and wear spandex suits with repainted ranger helmets. That is the only other reason I decided to do this, is they used ranger suits, basically, that they repainted to look like the VR Trooper outfits.
Alright. So what's the entire point of that mode?
Bonus points. You have to knock the Skugs into each other, that's what they're called, and that's the only way to get them to disappear. That's how they actually got rid of them in the show, too, though. Darkheart. I unintentionally used Ryan Steele before I knew about this, but Darkheart is Ryan Steele's kidnapped father brainwashed by Grimlord.
Wow. It's an interesting plot element.
And Grimlord, that building in the background, Zictor, that is actually the human name of Grimlord when he's in the real world.
Okay.
He's Mr. Zictor, and he owns Zictor Industries. Then anytime he wants to talk to his forces, he will close the blinds, put his hand on a crystal ball, and go, "Forces of darkness, hear me, take me back to my virtual reality."
Because people are gonna see him in that gigantic tower, right?
Yeah. And he has a pet iguana.
Wow. That's very villainous of him.
Yes.
Are there any menacing scenes where he's feeding crickets to it?
No, but...
That's the dramatic lighting going on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, most of his plots for the real world to get rid of the VR troopers involve sending disguised skugs to wherever they are to either discourage him from getting into wherever he's doing his evil plot, or to just attack him. They never really catch on that anytime there's like a group of 3 or more people standing there staring at them silently, it's the skugs.
I can't just take the chance of outright smacking a whole lot of quiet people. So this is after every single fight they do a battle grid?
Yes, and it gets longer each time by 10 seconds. I edit out most of them past this.
Thank you.
This is more, though, to show that, what happens when you lose all your health. You failed.
Aww.
And guess what happens when you fail? Read the text. Have you figured it out yet?
Oh, wow. That's such a dick move. It's supposed to be a bonus stage.
Yeah, so I edited out that fight and go straight to the end. Because we already saw how that fight worked.
What assholes. You failed the bonus stage?
Imagine how many times I failed that bonus.
Hmm.
And now we're fighting the only other villain from, Spielbahn, Kongbot.
Kong.
He was actually in the first episode of VR Troopers, but since I wasn't paying too much attention when I started actually watching the show, I missed him. This tells you how much I actually enjoyed watching it. I just mostly put it on in the background and listened.
Yeah, to be honest, it sounds pretty terrible.
It only got 2 seasons, luckily. Honestly,
Can't hurt anybody anymore.
yeah. Honestly, Big Bad Beetleborgs with its haunted house comedy plot and childlike elements was better than this. They tried to make VR Troopers the serious version of Power Rangers, where the characters were more adult-like and actually held jobs. But, yeah. Oh yeah, and that's the other thing with Jeb. He's constantly hungry and ordering pizzas.
That's why you don't teach your dog to use the phone.
Magician. I actually watched the episode with the Magician in it. It's not that good.
Really?
Yeah. I'm going to be saying that about most of it.
That's a surprise. This character actually looks pretty interesting.
Yeah.
As far as these costumes go, anyway.
I will admit the monster design for the shows they pulled these from are pretty neat. They're definitely more robotic than anything you really see in any Power Rangers series.
Yeah, I did kind of notice, though, that there is quite a clear difference between the enemies in terms of, you know, Kongbot and the tank guy, and, you know, this and Darkheart.
Yeah, well, Magician, did Magician come from Meddler? Let me look at my notes. Yep, Magician was also from, Meddler. Yeah, I lose and decide to cut out the rest of the fight.
And Grimlord's attention, dude. An animal that eats pizza and says dude.
We're in the final stretch of the game. Now we are fighting clone bots.
Clone bots.
This is actually where I had to split my recordings in two, because when I first did this I thought, oh, I could do this before I head into work. I got to this point and kept getting my ass handed to me during the battle grid bonus, so I kept having to go back, and I finally just said, screw it, turned it off and went to work. And later came back and used a Game Genie.
There you go.
I gave myself, oh, what was it? Oh, I can't remember. I think it was getting hit does no damage to my characters. So you'll notice,
works.
like, from fights here on out, I'll get hit and then nothing will happen.
Honestly, I don't think anybody will mind.
Yeah.
See more frightening cats? Well, if they're done in the same artistic style as you, then I'm not surprised.
Caitlyn clone approaching. Now, apparently this is in the second season, and I haven't gotten to that yet since they only just recently released Season 2, Volume 1. But apparently there is an episode that involves a clone of Caitlyn, which gives her a power later that lets her duplicate herself and have two of her fighting. In the original show, what that was there are actually two characters with the same transformation costume.
Okay.
Somehow, they ran out of footage of Meddler to keep going in the second season, but they still had enough Spielbahn footage to go for another season.
And, you know, with as horrible of an idea as it is, I do kind of have to at least say that I'm a little impressed that they managed to make a show for 2 seasons that's mashed up together of different shows.
Yeah, as convoluted as the plot is, it is kind of impressive how they're able to pull it together. Oh yeah, and there was an episode in the first season with a Skug disguised as Ryan Steele.
Ryan sounds like sounds like an adult film actor's name.
He actually stole his power and was able to attack the other VR troopers.
Well,
as you can tell, they had such creative plot ideas.
oh, they kind of just have to pull whatever they can, whatever works with the footage.
3 of those 5 episodes with the dog actually involved probably just kidnapping him.
Really?
Yes.
So, you know, if you learn how to use the toilet and then go into the backyard, you wouldn't be kidnapped.
Actually, he was kidnapped one of the times he was sniffing a tree. And we're now at the final fight of the game. Chameleon is not in the show. He was made original for this game. And you remember...
Like how they have to... Go ahead.
Well, I was about to say, you remember how you compared this to Mortal Kombat?
Yep.
Here's Shang Tsung.
Oh, boy.
Or,
yeah,
I think...
I like how they had to have the dog just put in random, worthless insight, and then the professor say something about your next opponent, and then the villain come in and say the same exact thing.
Yeah. Was it Shang Tsung who transformed it to the other combatants?
Yeah, that was Shang Tsung.
Okay, good. Yeah, so, Shang Tsung. Basically. Chameleon can transform into any of the previous characters you just fought.
Right.
So as you can see, he changed from Tank Bot to Kong Bot.
Nothing can save him.
Nope.
The forward roll.
I abused the hell out of that. Unfortunately, the battle grid doesn't let you use the special moves.
Oh,
So I just
that
had,
explains it.
Yeah, so I just had to crouch in the corner and mash the punch and kick buttons.
Whatever you have to do to not have to fight through the boss again.
Yeah. You'll notice also that when Chameleon changes, it's the palette swap of whatever you fought.
Yep. This is somewhat unique.
Lets you actually see the two-player models without actually having to go through two-player.
I know we were all curious about that.
Yeah. As you know, it's so easy to convince someone to play two-player mode of this game.
Yeah, I always had trouble getting anybody to play two-player in fighting games.
And that's it! So now the credits will just be them constantly running towards the screen.
Spent time on this animation, damn it, we're gonna use it.
Yep. I will admit, I do like the theme song to VR Troopers, which they digitized here.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Although I kind of wish they did make a Big Bad Beetleborgs game, but unfortunately it's made... the show actually came out too late in the Genesis's lifespan. In fact, I'm not even sure if the Genesis was still active at that point. Because this was like 96, 97, and then Big Bad Beetleborgs was 98, 99.
Oh, credits of horrible games.
Yes.
They're always the longest.
Of course.
It's basically saying, hire me! I won't get a job after this.
Although the credits are shorter this time than the movie.
Thank God. You could probably make that game with, like, 3 people.
And more, score screens. That arch in the background, that's actually the entrance to their virtual lab